Being lonely sucks. Everyone gets lonely. Some stats even say 20% of us feel lonely at any given time. And furthermore, some studies even show that being lonely is more harmful for your health than even smoking. So my friend recently posted this on his Instagram. Remember, every time you dreamed of fame, you were actually in need of community. I was feeling pretty lonely when I was scrolling through my feed and I saw this, and to be honest, it hit me pretty hard. I kind of ended up just staring at it for a while, reading it over and over again. We think things like fame or success will make us feel more loved, will make us feel more complete. But what we really need is community. Finding people who can build you up, show you that you are valued, and where you can do the same for others. And from my own journal of wrestling with this over the years, here are 5 things that I was doing and you might be doing too, that's pushing community away and making you feel more lonely, as well as the things that you can do to fix it right now. Mistake number 1, chasing. Don't chase. When joining a new social circle, sometimes we go and seek out the most popular person first, thinking that if they affirm me, that validates my existence. But this can be an especially bad idea if you've currently found yourself in a lonely place. From my own experience, that mindset is almost guaranteed to backfire, leaving you feeling even worse. Because your mindset shifts to a needy one, which shifts your focus from giving to taking, from cooperating to competing. It makes you feel as though there's not enough validation for everybody, and thus you have to grab it all for yourself while you still can. And this is definitely not true. So what do you do instead? Instead of just going after the most popular person or the person at the top of the totem pole, find someone with whom you've had a previous give and take. Tell a friend that you have an equal relationship with, that you're feeling lonely and would love to hang out. Chances are they'll be able to relate and will want to be there for you. As a caveat, of course, like with all things, you can end up with some bad apples, especially if you're in middle school or high school and people just in general haven't really matured enough yet. So if you don't have anyone like this around, maybe it's better to try some of these other tips. Mistake number 2, focusing on yourself first. Now this is only natural since loneliness functions as a type of survival mechanism. Just like how pain keeps us from touching a hot stove and getting burned, loneliness reminds us to seek out community again when we become too isolated. So instead, focus on giving first. Take time to listen to others and be there for them. Remember their names and what they share with you about their interests, their struggles, their dreams. Bring those up in conversation to show that you care enough to remember. Remember that we are all main characters of our own stories and that we all go through difficult times. So focusing on giving first by listening and asking how they are doing before you talk about yourself is a great way to foster that trust and give people a hug with your words. And chances are they're also feeling lonely too, and being there for someone else is one of the best ways to stop feeling lonely yourself. Mistake number 3, you're holding yourself back. Not doing the things that make you really come alive. The things that really inspire you and get you thinking. Things that you could talk all day about and not get tired. You see, we bond with other people over the things that we can both relate to. The hobbies, the beliefs, the causes that we care about. When you start to engage in the communities around the stuff you care about, you become your most magnetic, most interesting self. And small talk then becomes big talk. Even if you're an introvert like me sometimes, it's never boring to talk with someone as excited as you are about something that you also care a lot about. So if you don't like partying or going to sporting events, don't feel pressured to do that just because everyone else says that's what you should do to have a good time. So instead, do stuff that you actually enjoy, stuff that makes you come alive. Like maybe for you that's hiking, or board game parties, or just hanging out and talking to folks at the park somewhere. Like for me, I was never really into the late night clubbing or the travel vacations that a lot of my peers were into. I used to feel super pressured to go do these things because that's how you had fun. But after realizing that I prefer to do other things, I just decided not to do those things anymore. So now I decide to spend my time doing things that I actually enjoy, like making videos for you guys. And then we have mistake number 4, trying to be someone else. You see, the underlying seed of loneliness is oftentimes this unfounded belief that we are not good enough. And when you pretend to be someone you're not in order to feel accepted and fit in, you're reinforcing that fundamental lie that makes you feel lonely in the first place. That you, your genuine self, is not good enough to be accepted. So the solution here, be yourself. Now I know this is super cliche and vague advice, but the way that our brains work is that we take all these experiences that we experience in life and our brains start to generate beliefs based on these inputs. And when all your inputs are fundamentally rooted around you being somebody else, you don't have any data that says my real self was good enough. And it's only when you start to put your real self into the world that gives your brain these data points that allows it to reconstruct its fundamental beliefs, that it can point to experiences and say, I was valued for who I genuinely am. Maybe I am good enough after all. And mistake number 5, your expectations might just be a little too high. Even when you do all these things and you go out there and meet people doing things that you really enjoy, it still might take a couple attempts of going to events and meeting people to find the people that you actually gel with. So see, things like this are fundamentally a numbers game. Don't bank on one specific event to yield a desired outcome, but instead bank on the process. How valuable would it be for you to find that community that you really gel with? For you to find your new group of best friends, or to find a place where you truly feel loved and accepted? Even if it takes going to 10 different events just to find that, the benefits outweigh the costs 10, 100-fold. Like in my other video of #TakeMoreSwings, when you take more swings, you're bound to hit something. When you take more calculated risks and actions toward that goal, you're bound to see some sort of results, even if it's not on the first swing that you take. Keep trying and don't take it personally if it doesn't work out at first. If you've been around here for a while, you know that my mission on this channel is to try to make this world a little bit less lonely of a place through making videos like this one on the internet. Please consider subscribing and joining us as we try to figure this thing out together, because we all get lonely sometimes. And the next time you feel that way, I really hope that this is just a small reminder to you that you're not alone. So with that, thanks so much, my friends. It's so good to see you all again. Please hit like if you found this helpful. It helps this video and this channel grow. Click on one of these other videos to keep watching, and I'll see you over there in a second. And like always, much love, my friends. Peace.